So they showed me how to make a device that would encapsulate different types of formulas, substances, thought forms, and everything, and break it down into mathematical form. And put it in a software-based program that a person would be able to access. And they were of the opinion that computers were getting to that stage in its development, just as we were evolving, where they could start to form an artificial intelligence with the person that was using it. And so that the intent, it would start to fuse with whatever the intent of the user was. So this was the beginning. It took many years to put all this together. And they were very emphatic about how this digital data to the body was to be delivered. Because they said pretty much don't think in terms of raw hertz, radio wave frequencies and so forth. Think in terms of giving digital mathematical data, binary code, straight to the body. The body would understand that because indeed it was the language of our cells. So what they wanted to transmit this was the pure quartz crystal rods. And they kept showing me pictures of this for months, and I was looking all over the world trying to find a place that made these. I couldn't find anywhere in the United States, and I finally found a lab in China that it took a month to grow each of these crystals, and they had to be perfect. They had to be double terminated. They had to be a certain size so that they could be connected to two cables into a converter box, then into the USB port of one's computer, so that these crystal rods could transmit data to the body. Now that was kind of a new concept. Now I hadn't seen that anywhere, and indeed my first impression, well, that sounds kind of crazy. Holding crystals, but they said no, there's crystalline in the body, there's crystalline components in your computer, and with the crystalline rods it would set up a vibratory loop that would circulate through the body and the cells and raise a vibration. Well, after this, what took many years to do this, to finish all this, to formulate, to get the coding down and everything, and so years later, I went back to my friend Gene, the intuitive, and because he wanted to try this device, and I thought, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but this is what they're telling me, that it will work. So he went on the device, and Trinfinity 8, and when he got off, he goes, well, Kathy, this is more than an anti-aging rejuvenation device. He said, what they're saying is this is an ascension device. And I wasn't really sure what he meant by ascension. And so I asked him to clarify it. He said, well, it's no one's, everything is shifting in the world right now. The energy is increasing. It's no one's imagination that everything is going faster. Thoughts are materializing faster. Things are happening faster. And he said, we're evolving into a little higher energy plane shift and dimensionally. And that those that were having trouble really navigating this energy change were oftentimes having chronic illnesses, or were deciding to check out of the planet at this time, that it was very difficult to navigate it. And he said for those that had decided to stay and work with this energy shift into a higher dimension, that they would need some type of device that would help them shift into this higher energy plane, and that Trinfinity 8 was one of the first of its kind, but then there would be other devices that would be imparted to the world, Earth, whatever, and to help facilitate that change. So Trinfinity 8 has already gone through 3 versions. It came out at the end of 2008 and really didn't make its debut till 2009 at an energy conference of a lot of energy workers and subtle energy researchers and so forth, and where I was able to really get the validation for what they had been telling me all these years, that because I can't see energy, I can feel it. And a lot of the people that were on the Trinfinity 8 unit were experiencing everything from physical shifting changes, skin clearing up, skin tags dissolving, back problems, facilitating that they were able to move easier, and some were experiencing profound spiritual experiences on it, getting in contact with their higher guidance, talking with or communicating with departed individuals and loved ones. So I really didn't know what to expect from this device. It was like something that, it's something different for everyone. It's not a medical device. It wasn't intended to be a medical device. It doesn't diagnose, it doesn't scan, it's not a biofeedback device where it gives you a readout or so forth. They were very emphatic about that. They said there was not to be any types of numbers or anything of how you were doing, because this was not a device that the person should judge how they were performing, in essence. It was strictly a device that would allow them to interact with their higher self, their guidance, and they said many people would be attracted to Trinfinity 8 without always knowing why, but their higher guidance would know, knowing exactly what it was for. So this has been quite an adventure. It has been used in the clinical realm in research. So far there's been a number of research studies, all small ones, but there's new ones happening all the time. One of the ones that was done recently was with Dr. Norman Shealy, who started the American Holistic Medical Association. And Dr. Shealy contacted me saying he had heard about this device and he was curious to see how it would work with obesity, since it deals with not only of rejuvenation internally but externally. So I thought, well, I don't know how it's going to work with obesity. You want to try it? Fine. So he on his radio program, he got 10 volunteers, and he basically was doing 56 minutes a week for 8 weeks, and just the person on the machine without changing any diet or exercise. And he had an average weight loss of 5.1 pounds per individual, and one person lost 12.5 pounds. So that was quite astounding, at least for him. He said anything that's 1.5 pounds to a pound a week without doing anything different is quite remarkable. So now he is including it in his practice with a nutritional program as well. Also, some research was done on it by Dr. Beverly Rubik, and she's from the University of California at Berkeley. She's also sat on the National Institutes of Health, and she did 2 studies with it, or analysis with it, using 2 different types of testing, which was the electromeridian analysis system, the EMAS, which looks at all the different acupuncture points. And she also did the GDV, which is the gas discharge visualization, which looks at the auric field of the person. So she did pre and post on it, and she said that it was a significant difference, and on the acupuncture points, almost all of them normalized after a 26-minute session, which she was pretty surprised at. She said, "What is in this machine?"